amazing God. What an honor it is for me to be here with you today, to bring this word to you today. I move around a lot. Bob, is that going to be a problem for you? Okay.
I'm used to it.
Bouncing your eyes around, so that helps.
Yeah, so I can really only stay still behind the microphone if I have a guitar in my hand. Or maybe a flute. But outside of that, when I'm talking, I'm like all over the place. Talk with my hands a lot. In fact, it's so funny because I had some people one time say, well, can you talk without your hands? And I'm like, well, sure. You go, yeah, well, let's see. They pulled my hands behind my back, and I was laughing so hard, I could not say a word. Could not. So I do talk with my hands. I talk with a lot of things. Wow. Okay, first of all, I'm going to do something that might seem a little weird, okay? And because we do have an enemy that comes against us, and we do have the authority in the name of Yeshua to bind those spirits and to cast them out. And in the name of Yeshua, I bind every demon spirit that would come against this camp right now, that would come against any person right now. I speak to every demon spirit and I command you, you will get your hands off of everybody's eyes. You will get your hands out of their ears. You will take your hands off of the will of the people that are in this camp today, not only here but everywhere else. In the name of Yeshua, I bind you. You will not function in this camp today. Why we don't trust God and how we can. You know, so it's really funny. We got a lot of the same kind of theme running throughout. So apparently, because every speaker, of course, is praying about, Lord, what do you want to bring? And so we do have a lot of the same kind of theme. And that's kind of how he has to talk to us, because after all, we are sheep, and we have to be told many times. So what I'm going to talk about is why we don't trust God and how we can. First of all, I want to look at the word faith and the word trust. And I can't remember what page it's on. There we go. So it seems like we know what faith and trust mean, right? Let's dig in a little deeper, find out a little more. Faith. So the Greek word pistis means belief. It's interchangeable with faith. It means to believe. It's the assurance of a certain outcome. Okay, so we get that in Hebrews 11:1. The assurance of a certain outcome. So I get out of bed in the morning and I have faith that when I stand up, I'm not going to float up to the ceiling. Right? Because gravity is there. I have faith. I don't even have to think about it. Something that's happening all the time. The unabridged Webster's, by the way, if you're going to look something up in the dictionary, find an old one.
The 1828 one's good.
Right. So the unabridged Webster's says faith is belief in value, truth, or trustworthiness of someone or something. Unquestioning belief, complete reliance. Trust. Okay, so faith and trust are something that's interchangeable a lot. Trust, the Hebrew word for trust is hasa. It means to seek a refuge. Take refuge. In Hebrew, another word for trust is bata. And that means to have confidence in. Elpizo is a Greek word for trust, and it is the sense to have hope or place hope in someone or something. Deposit or entrust. The unabridged Webster's talks about belief, trust, or faith as being the belief or confidence in the honesty, integrity, reliability, and justice of a person or thing. Okay, so I have absolute trust, faith, honesty, integrity, reliability, justice for gravity, right? Well, gravity doesn't really have justice, and it really doesn't have it's reliable, though. Okay? So I totally trust gravity. So the question is, do you have complete faith and trust in the integrity and confidence in your vehicle that it's going to start every day? That's a good question. Okay, I'm going to go on a little bit, though, because the trust and faith is also the belief in The confident expectation or anticipation or hope. Confident expectation or hope in someone or something that is entrusted with you or what you have, or keeping charge over what you have. So in other words, I don't know Mike very well, but I know him enough that I would have absolute confidence that if he needed to borrow my vehicle, that he would, because of his honesty and his integrity, his loyalty to God, because of his justice, that he would take care of my vehicle as if it was his own. That I wouldn't have to worry about it. He wouldn't just leave it haphazardly unlocked somewhere. He wouldn't drive it like, trying to do 100 miles an hour up a steep hill, or, take it four-wheeling over major rocks or some kind of thing. He wouldn't do that. I could trust him with my vehicle. Y'all are laughing like you think we would or something. He's laughing. Okay, maybe skip that last part, okay? Maybe he would go four-wheeling. Fine, go for it. And you owe me one. No, okay. No, but see, I have totally complete faith and confidence that he would take care of my property. Okay, same with Ryan and Michelle. Same with, of course, my husband. But people that I don't really know, I would hope that I could have that kind of confidence. But if I don't know you, even if you're here, and I don't know you, and you want to borrow my vehicle, I'm gonna have to pray pretty hard about that. Because I don't know you, and I don't know if you have honesty and integrity. You might look like you do on the outside. So I can't put my confidence in you because I don't know you. So it's funny, because if we don't know something, just like Mike talked about yesterday, if we don't know how something operates, then we will abuse it. If we don't know someone or something, then we don't have confidence in that thing. So if I don't know you and you want to borrow my vehicle, probably not, but maybe. So it's the same with God. If you don't know God, how in the world are you going to trust him?
Amen.
Okay? Now you might know the word back and forth, frontward, backward, upside down, inside out, standing on your head. I don't care. Right? Because you can know, you can recite it, and you can know it up here in your head. But if you do not have the personal relationship with God, I mean on a deep level where you know that if your house burns down and you losing your job and, whatever, the whole world is blowing up around you, you all are going to sit here and say, oh yeah, that's okay. God, I know you would take care of me. Really? Then why are you anxious? Why are you worried? I would bet that almost everyone in here has a certain level, to different degrees, of anxiety about where we are in this system right now. How long is the economy going to last? What's going to happen to my job? What's going to happen to my house? How am I going to feed my kids? How am I going to pay all of these? How am I going to pay off my credit cards? Or maybe we're just like, oh, don't worry about the credit cards. We'll just rack them all up because, when all of this stuff ends, we'll just go on the great exodus, right? And then we don't have to worry about it anymore. Oh boy, do you really want to be carrying that baggage spiritually? Because you will pay for it. If you don't pay for it monetarily now, and you're not at least trying to, and you just blow that off thinking, oh, it'll just go away, there is still spiritual laws that are intact and in effect, and you will pay for it in one way or another. You will not be happy about it. So the question is, where's your confidence? Because I want you to look at how you feel. Are you having fear? Probably not right now. We're up at camp. This is great. We feel the Holy Spirit. Everything's wonderful. Yay. But when you go home next week, are you going to go back to the same hole that you're in right now? Are you going to go back to the same fear that you feel? Worry and anxiety about maybe losing your stuff? Are you shaken up by what's happening? Are you walking by sight? Or how much peace do you actually have in your life? You know, take an inventory. Think about it. What do you feel every day? I mean, granted, there's days where, I mean, you know, you're going to have more anxiety, where there's going to be things that are happening. But what do you do with it? You sit there and try to figure it out on your own? Are you trying to find your own way out? Or are you trying to figure it out? Or are you going to let God do that? Okay, now here's the thing, is that we can go, I'm letting God do that. Okay, here you go, God, here's my baggage. And you're going, okay, go ahead, take my luggage, God. Here you go, take it. He's going, well, if you would let go of it. But we're not. Why? Why are we not? Okay, because here's the thing. It's like we can say, oh yeah, I trust God. Do you? Do you really? Or are you trying to figure it out? Now granted, there are things you are going to have to do. All right? So the farmer doesn't go out to the field and go, okay, let's lay out and pray over the land, and we're going to just have all of these seeds, and everything's just going to grow, and it's going to be great. God, make it grow. It's still barren. God, how come you're not doing anything here? Well, God, I don't understand. Why isn't the crops growing? Hello, God, are you there? Why aren't the crops growing? And he goes, well, you got to plant the seed, sweetheart. You got to put your hand to the plow. You got to go and you got to do the work to plow the ground. And when you do that, even if it's a drought, and everybody else thinks you're crazy because you're putting seed in the ground, but you step out and you put the seed in the ground and you put your hand to the plow and you look forward. You know the scripture about looking back, don't you? Yeah. And you look forward, and what does he say? What is his promise? Tell me. What does he say about it?
He'll cause the increase.
He will bring the rain. He will bring he'll cause the increase. He'll bring the rain, he'll bring the sun, and he'll make it grow, right? Does he not say that? Okay, let me ask you a question. Where's my Bible? Can you believe I did this? It's back there. That's okay, I'm under his covering.
Blame him.
God's Word. How much do you really believe what you read in there? When he says that I will make it grow, I will bring the sun, and I will bring the rain, even when it looks like it's a drought. Okay, do you believe him? Or are you sitting there trying to make it happen yourself? Get out the watering can. Okay, we got to make sure these get water. We'll get the sun lamps on there. Right? What are you doing? Is that what we're doing? Here's a good question. Here's why we don't trust in God. Here's some reasons. Okay, there's probably a lot more than this. This is not an exhaustive list. It's just an idea. A lot of times, we're afraid of the answer we might receive. Oh, I don't want to pray about that. I really, really want to move to Costa Rica. So I'm getting everything in order to move there, you know, and become an expat and whatever. Greater Exodus. And as long as I don't pray, maybe God won't close the door. So are we afraid of the answer we might receive? Here's another one. Afraid that we may not be worthy of receiving his help. Oh, yeah, well, he'll bless you, and he'll bless you, and he'll make sure that you're okay. You know, but me, I got to take care of myself. I got to do my own. But I'm going to pray anyway, and I'm going to think I'm trusting in God. But I might be deceived by the enemy. And the enemy, I'll tell you what, just because you are under the blood of Yeshua does not mean that the demons are not going to come and try to whisper stuff in your ear and tell you that you're not good enough. We're going to talk about that a little later. And they're going to make you think that you're not worthy. You're not good enough. Look at all the bad things that you've done in your life. Oh my goodness, look at how horribly bad you are. Let's see, I need a Kleenex for this one. That's not a good one. Which one? See, got another one. Jimmy. Oh yes, there we go. Is that? I'm trusting and I have faith that this is clean. All right. Oh, look, we get 2 for 1. Check it out. I'll just put that in my pocket for later if you don't mind. Thank you. All right, here's how it goes. You see, here's us. All right? We're pretty dirty people. We get a lot of dirt. And the cool thing is we can't do anything to wash that dirt off of us. We know this. And then here's Yeshua. Here's what he did. Here's the covering, right? He covers us up. And so when God is looking at us, what does he see? What does he see? All right? Does he see you like this? Then why do you keep thinking he does? And why do you keep letting the devil tell you that he does? It doesn't make any sense. All right? Look at this. How does God see us? This is how he sees us. So it's funny because Yahweh is not the kind that goes, ew, look at how dirty you are. Oh. But you know what? The demons do that. They'll go, oh, look at how dirty you are. And we forget that we have this. And so if you will today make up your mind, it's a choice. You make up your mind that you are covered. God sees you like this. There is no dirt in you that he sees, and you are worthy then to receive all of his goodness and his plans for you. Because as you do that, and as you keep pressing in, what happens is, so this is the what do you call that? The justification. But as we keep pressing in, he comes to be so much a part of us on the inside. That's our sanctification. Where are you right now? Are you just living in justification? Are you reaching for sanctification? Because it's your belief, and it's how you believe it. It's what you think. And it's what you're going to allow the enemy to speak to you and what not. And what choice you're going to make if you're going to wallow around in the old stuff of, oh, I've done all these bad things. Really? Look at David. Come on. Did you do anything he's done? Has anybody done anything remotely close to what King David did? Then why are you, well, even if you have. We're going to talk a little, we're going to move on that point in many different directions today. Because y'all are going to get free this week. Period. In the name of Yeshua. We are not going to have this anymore. We're not going to wallow in our pity crap. Pardon the French. No, that's not French. That's probably Southern English or something. Oh, your breakfast, right?
It is not French.
So, all right, another one. God may not give me what I want. So see, we get confused between need and want, right? All right, so here's an example. Okay, the guy goes and he buys himself a nice red convertible hot rod. And so the person says, well, why'd you get the red convertible hot rod? And the guy goes, well, because it looks good. Okay, it looks good, but why that one? Well, I look good in it. Okay, cool, good enough. But what's the point of looking good in the red convertible hot rod? And the guy goes, well, because people will see me. Oh, okay, so you want to be seen by all people? Well, no, mainly women. Oh, okay, so you want to attract women. Yeah, well, why do you want to attract women? Well, I want to date them. Well, why do you want to date them? Well, because I'd like to get married someday. Oh, did you know that when you bought the red convertible car, that's what you really wanted, was the marriage? Didn't even realize it till you talk it out. Because there was the subconscious thing that, oh, I really want that red hot rod, that's conscious. But underneath that, the real desire is marriage. And the red hot rod is the means to the end. How many times are we doing that? And so we're praying, oh God, I want the red hot rod. And he's like not giving us what we want. Now, not to say he won't. Because you know what? He's given me everything I want. There's not one thing in my life that, every single thing that I've wanted, He's given me. I wanted a really godly man. I mean, somebody that's super scholarly in the Word. That could really be my head. If you know me. It takes a really special man with a lot of spiritual strength to be my head that I can submit to. And I prayed for that for a long time. But there were things in me that had to change in order to receive that. And I wanted to lead worship for a long time, but there were things in me that had to change. But see, and I asked the Lord to reveal all those things in me. What are my deepest desires really? Not the superficial stuff, because He's not going to give you that, because all it does is mess us up. So if we confuse our wants with our needs, and we're going to think that, well, God hasn't given me what I wanted, so maybe He won't give me what I need either. So for those of you who don't know me, I'm a naturopathic physician, so meaning a doctor of natural medicine. And I work with a lot of people on the physical, emotional, and spiritual stuff in the clinic. And I had a fellow one time that, I couldn't believe it. We were talking about God, and he was angry with God, and he said, oh yeah, I'm really kind of angry with God because He doesn't give me what I want. I mean what I need. And of course I didn't say anything about it, but inside I'm going, wow, really? And so if we're praying about what we think we want, if we want a boat, because we have this desire to sail around the world and bring the message to people on the coastlines all around the world and do healing and bring God's kingdom and advance His kingdom, and we're praying for a boat, probably going to get it. If you're praying for a boat so you can get out on the lake and go have fun in it, who knows? If you've been really advancing the kingdom and you give your life to Him and you let Him do with what He wants with your life, He might just give you the boat to go have fun with. Because He gives me all kinds of things to go have fun with, and I am no better than you. I'm no one special. I don't have anything in any better way than any of you do. I don't have a heart any better than you. I don't have a spiritual walk any better than you. It's different. It might just be different. And what I've learned is I've learned how to seek God and His kingdom first. And not only are my needs met, but my biggest desires, my wants. And the biggest desire is that connection with Him. And the more that we're getting that connection with Him in the real intimate place, in that really intimate place where we know Him so much that if everything crashed down and I can't not take my beams and bullets and band-aids with me, I can walk with the clothes on my back. And I know that all along the way we'll find, oh, look, I needed a hat. And there happens to be one on the ground, and it happens to be my style. Because that's how He is. And I know Him. I don't know Him. I want to know Him even more. I don't know Him well enough yet, but I do know Him well enough to know that He will give me every single thing that I need. And as I'm walking with Him, He's going to fulfill my desires, every one of them, because He has. I've been through some crazy stuff. Y'all, okay, quick background. I spent, 20-some years being a hippie. Oh, gee, really? Wow, that's a shock, right? Okay, and in that, I did a lot of drugs, and I did a lot of acid and LSD, a lot of, well, that's the same thing. It's a God thing that I didn't fry my brain. It really is. I did a lot of hallucinogenics and chased after the Grateful Dead, and I was on the path looking for freedom. I was looking for fun and excitement and joy, and I was just getting the false stuff. But I had been in and out of jail. I had been in and out of hard times. I had been on the street. I've lived on the street. I know what it feels like to live out of a bag this big. You know? And I know what it feels like to be in the dark place without God. And it's by His grace that I am where I am now.
Glory.
And so, again, I'm no better than you. But I've come to know Him so well that I absolutely know without a doubt that no matter what, that a fire could be burning in the forest and I can put my face down to the ground, dig a little hole so I have at least a little bit of air, and He will cover me. I have that much faith. Do you? You will by the time you leave here, or at least be on your way to it. Okay, here's another reason why we might not trust God. Because we can't see how to fix the problem. Ooh. So, in other words, all right, so the problem is so big. I got this humongous problem and I cannot figure my way out of it. So if I can't do it, then neither can you, God. So I got to sit here and try to figure it out. How much time are we trying to figure it out? Here's another one. I'm afraid that I might not really hear God's voice. Not sure I'm hearing your voice. I tend to say that to Him sometimes. Am I hearing you right? Usually I say that when it's something like, so I was telling Mike this earlier. It was a couple of years ago, I was stocking some stuff in the pantry that I was storing up, and God says, "What if I told you that wasn't for you?" And I'm like, "Excuse me? Am I hearing you right?" Okay, so maybe it's not for me. Fine. Then somebody else will be blessed. Amen.
Mm-hmm.
Because everybody can hear from God. All you got to do is listen. The more you tune in with Him, it's like tuning a radio. If you're kind of sorely tuned in a little tiny bit, you're going to get a lot of static and you're not going to hear Him very well. But if you're really tuning in, I'm going to show you a really neat thing that you may or may not want to do. It's up to you in a little while. No, okay, maybe we'll just do it right now. Okay. We have a tendency to go into prayer with God, thinking that we need to be like on our knees and, okay, oh God, and bless Aunt Sally and Aunt Norma, and would you do this, and I have this problem with my job, and there's this guy on my job that's just, and we blah, 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 blah. Okay, now yes, God will take us to our knees, and there is time for that. I'm not saying that there's not. There's definitely time to be on our knees, and there's time to be on our face. But if thinking that you need to be in a prayer posture is inhibiting your prayer life, you better get rid of the prayer posture. Because most of my prayer time with God is sitting in a chair or kicked back on my bed with the pillows laid up against the headboard. And the first thing I do is I dial down. Because if we go to God, there's nothing wrong. We want to go to God with our petitions, and we want to petition Him for things because we don't receive unless we ask. Isn't that what His Word says? Okay? So we do need to ask these things. We do need to petition Him. But sometimes we just need to shut up. Because we talk too much. And we go round and round and round and round the same stupid tree. Every single day. And so one day, in my first time with God, I was like, why? Why is it that people have such a hard time letting go of their baggage and letting you carry it? You know what He showed me? I got an imagination, okay? I got a picture in my mind. I got a picture of a jester, a court jester, with the funny little bells coming out and the funny costume. And the court jester had these, like, three-dimensional shapes, like circles and cubes, or spheres, I guess they would be, and cubes and triangles, and they were Velcroed, like stuck all over it. All over it. And I'm like, okay, so that's a funny picture. What does that mean, God? Well, on one hand, I was kind of wondering if God was saying, yeah, when these people come to me with all their stuff and they don't let it go, it's kind of a joke. I'm like, wow. Okay, now I'm not sure if I heard Him right. Okay. But what's interesting, here's what He showed me about it, that I know for sure, is He said, people don't stick with me, stay in prayer with me long enough for me to peel that garbage off of them. And they hand me their garbage and their baggage, and here's my problem, and here's the thing, but they don't let go. And they don't stay in prayer with me long enough for me to shift it and change it. and heal their hearts and change their mind. Be renewed in your mind, right? By the washing of the water of the Word. Renew your mind. If we go about our daily life in the way that we normally think in our human understanding, what does the Scripture say about that? Leaning upon his own understanding? Wow! Where are we going? We're not going anywhere. We're certainly not going to build each other up, and we're certainly not going to advance the kingdom, and that's the purpose. That's why we're here, is to have a relationship with God. Amen. That's it. That's the only reason we are on this planet. You showed me another picture. You know how we humans, we love animals, right? And we especially really like those little ones, those little critters, you know, like the little rats. Well, some people like the rats. You know, other people like the hamsters. The ones that are a little fuzzy, and they look cute and cuddly. And so we go and we get these little critters and we want them as pets so that we can have what? A relationship. We want to bond with those little critters. And so we go and we buy them the big cage. You know, it's got all the like run around tubes and all the fun things to do on the inside. Why? Because we want them to enjoy their life to the fullest, do we not? Does it not bring us joy to see them have joy? Aha. And so the little one, the little critter that you can hold in your hand and it'll like sit there. Oh, wow, what joy. And especially when it'll come up and hang out up here on the shoulder. It might go over there and hang out on that shoulder. Now some people might not like that, but I think most people that want the little critters do. And that little critter might get down and it'll go away for a couple minutes and it'll do its own thing. It'll have its own thing, but then it comes back after a couple minutes, it comes and climbs back up here again. And there's just such joy in that relationship with that little critter. And then there's that other one that you hold it and it's kind of like, you know, and it's just trying to get away from you. You know, and it goes off and it stays away over there somewhere. And it might come up now and then and sniff. And then it goes away again. And you know what? We love that one too. But there's no joy in it. Because it's off over there. It's actually kind of sad. Because we want to have that relationship with that little critter that's off running around over there. And we keep inviting it back, but it doesn't want to come. But oh joy, what joy we get from the little one that hangs out with us. And then we go and we get it another adaptation to the cage, because there's the new thing that came out and we want it to have all of this fun because it brings us joy to see the little critter have joy. Do you see how, I'm not calling us little critters, but we are. We're part of God's family, and that's how He sees us. He has that such joy with us to have that bond and that relationship. That's why we're on planet Earth. There is no other reason. And do you know that He wants to give us the runaround tubes and all of the play toys and all of the things that would bring us joy in our life? But He's not going to give it to us at our own expense. Just like you would not put the hamster wants this really great, big, huge hamster wheel, but it's only this big and it's going to kill itself on it. You know? And so you don't get that for him until he grows into it. Because you know, with your wisdom, that thing isn't going to, he might want it now, but it's just like putting a 3-year-old on an ATV. Really? Okay, I don't think so, baby. You haven't even learned how to ride a tricycle yet. Okay, so let's start there. And we'll grow. And this is where God is with us, is that He wants to give us the desires of our hearts. He wants to give us so much. And what we don't recognize is how much spiritually we really want. Because we get caught up in all of our fleshly wants. When we're in prayer, so when I go to the Father, I go in before Him and I be quiet. I'll put on a little bit of music in the background. Sometimes some praise music that's really mellow. And sometimes just some instrumental music that is comes from an anointed source. And I'll close my eyes and oh God, here I am. Here I am, Lord. Oh, I just want to connect with you, Father. I just want to seek your face. I just want to know your presence. I want to feel your presence. God, tune me into you. God, connect my heart with your heart, my mind with your mind, so that I know what your will is for me, for my family, how you would like for me to pray today. I just want to feel your presence. And then I wait. Oh, I love you, Lord. I bless your name. And I wait. And sometimes he'll connect with me right away. And sometimes my mind is thinking about what I'm going to wear that day. Or my grocery list. I'm sitting there waiting on God, right? And my mind will go off to the grocery list. And here's this, what I'm going to do. Oh, sorry, God, please forgive me. Father, I just want to connect with you, Lord. Help me to connect with you in your heart so that I can be tuned in with you. And sometimes he'll then connect with me. And sometimes he'll let me wait. And I'll wait. And I have to struggle sometimes to keep my focus on him. Oh, you're beautiful, God. And I'll start kind of telling him how amazing he is. Oh, wow, you created these things, and this earth, and it's so beautiful. Look at all the things you did. Oh, I love this in your word, or I love that in your word. And then I'll wait. And then my mind will go off into some fleshly thing again. You know, about, okay, well, here's all the things I got to do. Oh, yeah, sorry, God, please forgive me. And there's times where I've struggled with my mind and getting my mind focused on him and staying connected with him. And I've struggled with that for 40 minutes, 45 minutes. Because here's the question. If you were out on the street corner and God said, I'm going to come and pick you up, are you going to stand there? Okay, 5 minutes has gone by. I'm sorry, I'm done. I've got things to do. And you're not here, so I'm going on. Or are you willing to wait for him to show up, no matter how long it takes? That's the question. Because you're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to get anywhere. You're not going to get anywhere. Except round and round and round and round and round. The same mountain that you're really getting tired of going around. Unless you're willing to wait on God. Once he's connected with me, I'll feel it. I feel where he wants me to start praying. And he will actually lead me. I don't have to struggle to think about what to pray about. Because he'll start putting it in my head and on my heart. About the people to pray about, the church to pray about, if it's the government that particular day, if it's Israel that particular day, or if it's just people in my family that particular day, or if it's people in my clinic, or whatever it is. I don't have to worry about who and what and how to pray, because he will absolutely guide the whole thing. And when I think, oh man, I can imagine how in the world I'm going to get through 15 minutes of prayer. Really? An hour and a half went by. Well, wow, okay. And then he'll just release. And it's like, you just know. Oh, wow, cool. I'm done, and he's giving me the blessing to move on and do all the things that I got to do that day. So I really encourage you to seek God now from this day forward. I'm not asking you to go try to tomorrow spend an hour with him if you haven't done that before. But I'm going to encourage you to spend 5 minutes in the morning or in your prayer time just seeking to connect without having all of the chatter. And see what happens. Because all of those things that you pray about for your own self and who you want to be, are you praying about who you want to be? That's something I say every single day to God. Make me into the person you want me to be. Because you know what? And He is. It's 20 years ago, I was the deadhead hippie tripping around, dancing, twirling around on the hillside. And today, I'm advancing the kingdom of God in all authority. And I expect to keep, I'm not satisfied with where I'm at. I'm content. And I'm content with what I have. I'm content with what God gave me, but I am not satisfied to stay where I'm at. And I keep reaching. And that's the key. All you have to do is ask, God, change me. Make me into the person you want me to be. What was the other part I forgot? I just had it. Make me into the person you want me to be. Well, okay, let's just stay with that. Yeah, shoot, that just went right out of my mind. That happens sometimes. We'll come back. I'm sure it will. Here's the other one, here's another one that I pray. Yeah, change me on the inside. Make my heart like yours. Make me into who you want me to be. And you know what? He will. And here was the other part. If you just spend that few minutes trying to connect with Him and you just keep reaching, your life is going to change in a very dramatic way. And all of these wounds are going to start to go away because you're protecting them by not actually seeking God on the relationship level. And if you seek God on the relationship level, He's going to start working in those wounds. And you know what? He does it in a way that's not fearful. The world does it in a way that's fearful. Oh my goodness, we cannot go there because we go there, I'm going to start trying and it's not going to stop and I'm going to cry for the next 2 months. Not with God. He knows exactly what you need, exactly how you need it. And if you really want healing, all you got to do is go to that place of connecting with Him, seeking Him, seeking the connection. Well, the time goes by really fast. Okay, worldly influence is poisonous. This is so huge. We really, really, really need to get this. We are sheep. We know that. This is good. I'm glad we all know that we're sheep. We have some goat-like tendencies from time to time, but you know, we are sheep. And the world is full of false prophets. The world is full of all of the, oh, wouldn't you like to have this? And wouldn't you like to have that? It's the lure of the shiny and the fun and the exhilarating. And it's all about trying to escape from reality so that you can have a little bit of happiness. There's a big difference between happiness and joy. Happiness depends on what is happening. Because there are some times where Kimmy's really happy, and there's other times where Kimmy's not happy at all. Okay, I am not happy about this, or I'm not happy about that, and I don't like it, but okay, but what is my lesson in this? God, what are you trying to show me, and how do I pray about it? And as I do, the joy comes in because I'm being filled with the Spirit, and that's the fruit of the Spirit. But the world will try to tell you how to operate your household, what to do if you're in trouble with this, that, or the other thing, what you need to eat, what you would like to eat, what you want as far as, quick, fast, right now, you want a microwave? Hey, we have one now that will do it in 5.3 seconds. You don't have to wait a minute and a half anymore. How about that? Wouldn't that be great? Well, yeah, it'll really mess up your body and completely change your DNA, and you'll be dead in about 10 years, but ask your doctor if it's right for you. Please forgive me if there's any physicians in the audience. I don't mean that with any disrespect at all. I'm just playing on some of the commercials. So we have to be careful with what we're listening to and what we're taking in from the worldly perspective and what voice that we're listening to. Because we are sheep, we will follow the voice we hear most. We will follow the voice that is the loudest. So if you want to follow Yeshua, He said, pick up your cross and follow me. Okay, that means there's going to be some hard times. Here's another prayer for you. This one's a hard one sometimes. It gets easier the more you pray it. It might be a little scary at first. Because you go, Lord, and I pray this every day, if there is anything in my life, anything, people, items, you name it, desires, thank you. If there's anything in my life that gets in the way between me and you having a dynamic relationship and me being able to be a warrior on this planet to advance your kingdom, then you got to take it out of my life. Okay? And here's what the worldly wisdom does is they play on your fear. And it's fear of loss. Because they make it, oh, you gotta have this insurance and that insurance and this insurance and make sure you got this and make sure you got that. Because if you don't have all these things, you might miss out. Not only might you miss out, but you might really die. Oh man, I couldn't fit my microwave in my camper pack today. What am I going to do? Because I haven't learned how to cook over a stove. And you know, that's really a shame, but it's true. I mean, it's like how many, there's probably the youth that are here I'm really impressed with. The worldly youth, they don't even know how to, let's see, that's an oven and how do you turn it on? Really? And you know, it's amazing how many people cannot read a clock with hands on it that are under 30 years old.
You're right.
I am. And the school system, the education system, you know, I mean, if there's people that have their kids in public school, my kids are in public school, okay? There's something about that homeschooling, I believe, is definitely the best. Because you don't have all the indoctrination. And you have real education. Because our youth are they're not being taught the things that they need to know. They're not being taught critical thinking skills. And so they don't know what to do in case of problems or emergencies. And so then they resort to fear and panic. Well, guess what? So do we. If we are listening to the voice of the world. Okay, and what I mean by that is TV. Nothing wrong with TV. Nothing wrong with watching movies. It depends on what type you're watching and how much. Nothing wrong with getting on Twitter and Facebook and whatever, like Mike said yesterday, but is that your life? Is that what you're listening to? Are you listening to everybody else's opinions about what you should do, even in the face of what seems natural? So you might be going through a really big problem, like so there's the neighbor, and the neighbor's got all these problems with this property line thing, and the neighbor takes you to court, and everybody's going, oh man, you better get a lawyer. You better get a lawyer. Are you going to listen to that, or are you going to seek God and go, God, do you want me to get a lawyer? Are you going to listen to what he says? And if he says, no, I'm your defense, are you going to trust him? That might be a hard place. But the more that if you do that on a hard thing one time, because you know what? If you ask the question and you're willing to go through the hard place one time, you'll still go through some hard places, but each time it's going to grow you and it's going to refine you, and you are going to be so strong. You are going to know just from that one time. I had a really big one. I had a huge healing center. Okay, I built this healing center that would rival Kaiser Permanente in the fact of being all the different practitioners, and we had all kinds of different doctors and chiropractors and acupuncturists and you name it, we had it. Huge, 6,000 square foot space, $10,000 a month overhead. It was amazing, and there were people that I was working with that I had working with me that I had actually grown up in this and taught them business for 3 years, and I trusted these 3 people because they proved to be trustworthy for 3 years. Well, they plus some of the practitioners actually, what's the word? They sabotaged me. They came against me. They ran me out to be able to move back into the building and start their own healing center. So then I was left with a bag of loans of over $100,000. I had taken out a second mortgage on my house in order to be able to remodel $30,000 worth of remodeling on the inside of this thing. It was gorgeous. And I did it still on a shoestring budget because it really should have cost me $60,000. So when I lost the business and I had nowhere to go and I had no money left and I was left holding all of these loans, and I soon lost my house. And I went into foreclosure. And so I had moved 6,000 square foot worth of furnishings into my 2.5 car garage and my basement of my 5-bedroom house in Brighton, Colorado. When I lost and I moved my clinic into a 500 square foot space, which is about as big as this Ramada, if you can imagine, maybe not even quite that big. And when I lost my house and I could no longer afford all of the loans and I could not pay anything, and my credit score went to 420, and I'm like, okay, fine, God. You want my house, take my house. You want my business, take my business. You want my car, take my car. If you want all my stuff, take my stuff. I don't care. I'm done with this. I would rather live in a box because I'm miserable. Take it. And I did not know. I was toting a 12-year-old kid at the time. My son was already grown. My daughter is 12 at the time. I didn't know where I was going to move, how, or where I was going to go. And I spent about 5 months in what I called the dark night of the soul. And I was in a major burn where I couldn't even tell if God was there. I couldn't even feel his presence, but yet there was that knowingness in my knower that he was and that he had it all straightened out. And there were times I had tears. I had so many tears. And I cried and I cried and I cried. And I'm like, okay, but God, I have no choice. I have nothing that I can lean on. There's nothing left. I don't know where I'm going and I don't know how. And little by little he showed me, I was thinking, oh, well, maybe I just sell the rest of what I got and I get an RV. And then I started looking at apartments, and then I started looking at houses, and then I'm looking at 5-bedroom houses, and I'm going, I don't know why I'm even doing this, because I can't afford a 5-bedroom house. I don't have any money left. I don't even have clients coming in right now. I have nothing. I have like $2,000 to my name that I've saved up, and that's all I got. But I kept going to look at these 5-bedroom houses, and there was one that I looked at all these things, and I'd fill out all these applications. I tell people the story, and I'm turned down left and right, because I have no payability. And there was one, and the guy goes, I don't know, boy, I'm going to really have to think about this. And this guy is a New Ager guy. He's not even a believer. 3 days later, he comes back, he goes, all right, well, I don't know what's going on, but something greater than me is telling me that I have to rent to you. And that 5-bedroom house, it's beautiful. And the whole main floor is now actually the clinic. And we live downstairs. And it's amazing. Absolutely amazing. And what God did. And there's a much more details about how God did what he did. But when nobody would take me, when there was no way, how do you get a 5-bedroom house with a 420 credit score and foreclosure and to rent? Nobody will do it. God is the one. And because of that experience, not only did I was not happy, okay, for about 5 months. I was not happy, but once it broke free, I was like, wow, that was awesome. I learned so much. I became a new person. And in that I learned who God is, that he is trustworthy no matter what, and he will fulfill every need. But not only that, he gave me all of these other really cool things. I'm going, wow, that's really neat. Wow, God, look at that. That's awesome. Wow, 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 wow. And I still do that all the time. Wow. Is that what you want? Do you want that? Because I'm nobody special. I didn't do anything special. I don't have any more favor with God than you do. But all you got to do is want him more than you want your stuff. Because the world will tell you that, will make you afraid of losing what you have, and then you have to hang on to it. And if you're afraid of losing what you have, then you don't have God. And he can't show up. Because there's no room. You won't let him. I wanted to show you a quick demonstration. I'm trying to keep us on time, guys. Okay. Because we've got an activation we're going to do here in a few minutes. That's going to take us maybe about 15 minutes to run through. And so if it's okay, is it okay with you guys if we go maybe 8 minutes over 12? Sure. Would that be okay?
Yes.
Maybe 10 max?
Yeah.
I'll try to keep it to that at the best of my ability, okay?
About 15.
Okay. I'm going to need a volunteer. I was with you. Sweet. All right. And let's see. Yeah, you want to pull that up? Look at this. I love this. Unity and teamwork. It's the only way we can do anything because I can't do it all by myself, ever. And I'm going to pour a little bit into that. Would you hold that cup up for me? Okay. We might pour another one in a minute. All right. Would you hold that cup up so everybody can see it? All right. So the cup is us. The water is the spirit man. And what goes into that cup is going to make that clean or dirty, right? Okay. So if we are watching a lot of TV, listening to a lot of worldly wisdom, what other people have to say, everybody else's opinions, what this teacher says, what that teacher says, teachings are great, okay? But if we are elevating those above God, you are in idolatry. And you need to repent for it. It's easy to get into idolatry. If we are putting TV ahead of our prayer, we are in idolatry. If we're watching a lot of TV and movies and videos and games and radio and internet, we are listening to poison. And if we have a little bit, well, we're not too poisonous. Just a little bit. That's not too bad. Oh, we'll just do a little more. Oh, yeah. See, we're still pretty clean. You know, that's okay. There's not much there. Well, we could just do a little more. Oh, yeah. That's okay. It's really not that much. We're still pretty clean. You know, we're not really being influenced much. We're not. It's just not that much, is it? So we can do a little more, and a little more, and a little more, and pretty soon, there we are. And we're pretty poisonous. And we have poisonous thoughts that go, oh, poor me, and I'm not good enough, and I can never get anywhere, and I can never do anything right, and nobody ever likes me, and I just have to keep working really hard, and I'm always the one that does everything. Oh, my goodness. Thank you. Let's do another one. And so, if we are, though, on the other hand, and we do a little internet, we might have a little TV, we get a little poison. Not everything's poisonous, you know that. I'm not saying that. But there is poison there, okay? If we're getting a little poison, and now what I'm going to do is, I'm going to have you hold the mic so that I can put the mic up on the thing, but, and I'm going to have you hold that bucket. I'm sorry, yeah. Actually, I can hold this. You hold the bucket. Oops. Okay. I got a better idea. Hold on. No, okay. There we go. Perfect. There we go. All right. Let's move up here so they can see. All right. So if we have a little poison, what are we supposed to do? We're supposed to get in the Word. We're supposed to get in the Word and get with God so that we can get renewed in our mind, so that we can get clean, so that our spirit man can get cleaned out. So we're clean. That really didn't take a whole lot. And that's every day. All right, now I'll show you something. If we're spending a lot of time listening to worldly wisdom and we're pretty poisonous, and our thoughts are pretty poisonous, let's see, I'm going to start with this one. Okay, we're still pretty poisonous. Boy, that was a lot of spirit that went into us, but we're still pretty poisonous. Wow. There we go. Finally. How much poison is in your life? Thank you. Just put that on the floor or something. I'm going to give you some statistics. Matthew 6:22 through 24 says that the lamp of the body is the eye. And therefore, if your eye is good, your whole body will be full of light. But if your eye is bad, your whole body will be full of darkness. If therefore the light that is in you is darkness, how great is that darkness? No one can serve two masters. Okay, now, everybody here is walking on a spiritual path. And your eyes are looking to the light. But how much is your eye taking in the darkness, and how much are you deceived by the demons that would make you believe that, oh, yeah, it's okay. You know what, you study, you read your word, you worship. And so if the light that is in you is actually darkness, how great is that darkness? How much are you being deceived that you don't even know? And how is that keeping you bound up in your old wounds? You're supposed to be a new man, a new creation. And in this camp, this week, you will be, in the name of Yeshua. All right, statistics, check this out. Okay, this comes from the Barna Group, and the Barna Group does these Christian polls, and they get statistics on things. It says that people spend about 7 to 15 minutes in prayer every day, including meal times, which equals about 105 minutes or 1.7 hours per week, 91 hours per year, 7,280 hours in a lifetime in prayer. That's if your lifetime is 80 years. Woohoo! I spent 7,000 hours in prayer in my lifetime. Isn't that awesome? Now, the average believer watches about 3 hours of TV per day, 21 hours per week, 1,092 hours per year, 87,360 hours in a lifetime. Ouch. Are you taking in worldly wisdom more than you're taking in godly wisdom? Are you taking in worldly spirit more than you're taking in godly spirit? Because if you are, there's your problem. It's not that hard. It's a matter of what you want. How bad do you want it? Because the world would make you think that you have to hang on and uses fear of loss. Okay, I'm going to give you one more example, and then we're going to end this with an activation. Anybody see the movie Contact? Okay, how many people saw that? I want to see a show of hands. Okay, so a few, about half of you. All right, so for those of you who don't know, Jodie Foster plays a scientist. She's an astronomer.
I've seen it.
Huh?
I've seen it.
Okay. And they received this message from like outer space. And so in the message, it's the schematics to build this spaceship that will take them through space and time. And as they're building it, it's a sphere. The spaceship is this big sphere, and on the inside of it, there is nothing to sit on. And so in the human understanding, they say, well, we can't send somebody in this spaceship through space and time without something to sit on. And so in their human understanding, they build a chair. And the chair comes up from the ground, and it's got the chair, and it comes up, and it hooks up to the ceiling of the sphere. So now Jodie, she's in she's the astronomer, she's the scientist. She's in there, she's all strapped in, she's got her stuff in, she's got the 5-point strap, the whole bit, so she can't fall out of the chair. And she's out in space now, and she's going through these wormholes, and it's going zoom, 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 and she's being shook around. And pretty soon, the shaking starts to get real violent. And she starts shaking like crazy. And she's just everywhere. And it's so violent, it's about ready to rip her apart. And her necklace breaks off. And it's floating. And she's seeing it. And it's floating. And she's shaking like crazy. And this thing is floating. She's like, wow. She realizes that she unsnaps herself from those straps. She comes out of that man-made thing. And now she's floating too. And it's still shaking, and it gets so violent that all of a sudden it breaks off, and it was slam right up to the top. And what happened? And it would have crushed her should she stayed in it. I love that part of the movie because you know where I'm going. Everything will be shaken.